my exact audience, they would download this one type of ad. If it exists, it is likely an app that you can target, which is really cool. And you can't go like attack one person. It's like football. You know how you can't like target somebody? You can't like go in and like narrow in and hit your head on, their noggin. The more specific you get with your data, the more expensive it's gonna cost to have it. Google's saying, hey, you wanna just broadly target? It's only this much. You wanna target this person in this age, in this area, this specifically? Yeah, that's gonna cost a little bit more. Just like we would treat a first date and a 27th date very differently. How long should my ad be? What type of ad? Well, there are two different types of ads on Google. There is skippable and non-skippable. Let's talk about YouTube ads. So one of the things that I feel like so many people do is they spend almost all of their money on Facebook and Instagram ads. And what's interesting, some of you have maybe heard me say this before, but when I worked at the advertising agencies, 90% of my clients spent 90% or more of their budget on Google properties, like on Google advertising. And so YouTube is actually able to be done through Google because Google owns YouTube, which is why some of the targeting capabilities that you have with Google and YouTube are insane. So we're going to talk all about that today. I was like, we've never really had an episode all about YouTube ads. And I feel like people disregard it. And it can be some of the most affordable ads that you can run. I have an example of a veterinarian I'm going to share with you at the end of this episode and how she's used ads and how that's gone for her. So we're going to dive into all of that on today's episode. But before we do, don't forget to click the link below this video or this episode to sign up for the Win with Paid Ads Challenge so that you can really understand not only how you can win with YouTube ads, but what's the strategy and what's the different targeting capabilities on not just YouTube, but all the other ad platforms that you can be on, your competitors are on, and your prospects are on. All of that is what we are going to talk about on the Win with Paid Ads Challenge. So click the link below, get your ticket. I can't wait to see you and meet you live. Now let's jump into YouTube. So here's why targeting is different when it comes to YouTube. So because YouTube is owned by Google, all of the search behavior that someone has, it has access to all of that data. So think about it. Your ideal person, what are they searching for on Google? And know that you can target that exact person with all those individual things that they're searching for on Google. So you can target people based on their search behavior. You can target people based on different websites they visited. And that's what's actually cool is with YouTube, you can target people if they've been to other competitor websites. So you can say, hey, if they've been to any of these websites, I want to get an ad in front of them, which is really cool. You can also target people based on app usage. So one of the things that you can do is say they have the LinkedIn app, or say they have this like what to expect when you're expecting app and you sell baby products or baby clothes. You can really be so specific with the types of apps that people have downloaded. And there's some like nitty gritty specific apps. Like you might really think my exact audience, they would download this one type of app. If it exists, it is likely an app that you can target, which is really cool. You can also target people based on different videos that they're watching. So it can be videos of your competitors. It could be your competitors' channels. There's so much opportunity for you to actually target based on the type of content they're watching. So that's why I love YouTube, is because you're not guessing on interest. You're tapping into their current, real, active intent signals that they have right now that Google can show. So this is why YouTube ads can actually feel like you're a psychic when you do it the right way. It's like, how did you know I was looking for this? I remember one of my favorite examples I give is when I was at the very beginning of creating my course for the first time. I was searching on Google, how to create an online course. And I opened up an ad to fix my vacuum cleaner. And it was like, hey, are you trying to launch an online course? And I'm like, yeah, like I Googled that 5 seconds ago. And listen, I'm an advertiser. So of course I was like, that was freaking good. So I watched the video just out of mad respect for him and his advertising skills. It was so good. So you actually can make your clients, or your prospects, your future clients, that is, actually feel like you are reading their mind. And don't you want to do that? Like, don't you love when you get advertised to and you're like, actually, this is really convenient. I have been trying to find this. Like, ultimately, it's all about speed. When people are in the middle of being intently interested in a thing, you can cut in right there. Like, oh, are you looking to renovate your business? Oh, are you trying to get a roll-off dumpster rental? Oh, are you looking for a dentist in this area? Absolutely. You can be right there. So cool. And video, there's such connection with video, right? Like anybody can write a sales page. Anybody can write an email. Not anybody can show up on video and be like, hey, here's who I am. Here's how I can help you, and have that like authentic human connection. And so it's such an opportunity for especially small business owners and entrepreneurs to tap into YouTube. And I'm about to tell you in a minute or two how inexpensive it can actually be to be findable on YouTube. So there are 6 core YouTube targeting buckets. So number 1 is in market. So that means you're in the market for a thing. Perfect example. If you're in the market for a car, you're probably looking at, like we just bought a company vehicle. And by the way, it is a 2026 Yukon Denali Ultimate with this brown leather stitching. It's insane. I'm obsessed. So guess what happened? When we were in the market for this company vehicle, we were searching, there's a Cadillac. Oh, it's the Escalade. We were looking for the Cadillac Escalade. We were looking at the GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate. We were looking at, there was like a Lincoln Navigator. No hate on the Lincoln Navigator. It just did not, it was just not for me. There was one more option. And so what happened is, because I was searching, I started getting ads from all these different car companies, even ones that were not those car companies. It was like they knew we were in the market for a car. We were looking at different interest rates. We were doing all these things and all these different websites. Well, what Google's doing is it's capturing all your behavior. And it's like they're looking for a car right now that's luxury. So I started to get more ads from other companies that had those cars. That is just them knowing that my intent is so high and we were in the middle of it. Because when you're like really into something, you're like looking relentlessly, you're looking at Instagram, you're looking everywhere. Google recognizes that intent is able to capitalize it's able to capitalize on that intent for you as the advertiser. And so there's so many different in-market audiences. People in market for advertising services, business solutions, travel, houses, cars, investing, real estate, all these different things that you can tap into. So I just love that you are actually capturing someone not mid-scroll, but mid-decision. Like they're in the middle of making a decision and you get to be right there. That's why I love in-market audiences. And that's what Google calls them. They're called in-market audiences, and there's a list. The next thing you can do is you can do custom audiences. So custom audiences is where you are specifying who you want to target based on websites someone has visited, apps they've downloaded, or their search behavior. So you could make an audience of someone who has recently searched for the exact service that you offer and say, yep, want to get back in front of that person. That can be really good when you want to capitalize on the brand demand that someone else has already created. That's when you're like, oh, someone was searching for, Nike and we're Adidas. Oh, someone was searching for this other dumpster company. Well, we're the better one. So you can show up there, which is cool. The next thing that I talked about is placement targeting. So that is where you're placing your ads on specific videos. Now you can't go like attack one person. It's like football. You know how you can't like target somebody? You can't like go in and like narrow in and hit your head on, their noggin. Like you have to be specific. So you have to be careful is what I mean. So you can, instead of targeting one person's video or one person's channel, you can say, here are the top like 5 or 10 channels I want to target, or here are 10 or 15 videos from that person. You can do that, which is super crazy. Like I bet if you really think about like going on YouTube and looking for ads, you'll be like, oh my gosh, they put this video on, this whole video is teaching about sales training, and this video is about sales training. They're trying to get me to buy their sales program because they know I'm interested in sales training, obviously. So there's just such an opportunity for you to be super hyper specific. You just can't target like one ideal person just for privacy reasons. Google's particular about that, which I respect. All right. So the reason I like that is because you're kind of borrowing attention that they already trust. Like they're already in the middle of like, you could trust that they're interested in this thing. It's just, they just don't know about your thing. And that's where you get to step in. Then the next targeting bucket, number 4, is keyword and content targeting. And so keyword targeting is different than what I was just talking about, which is search term targeting. Keyword means that keyword or that theme is representative in that video, in the content of the video. So that's a little bit more where there's like keyword and content targeting. So it's like targeting videos that are about certain topics or have certain keywords, certain descriptions, certain themes. The next bucket is combination targeting. So that's where you can get really powerful. You can say, oh, I want someone who's in the market for this and they recently searched for this on Google. Or, oh, I want someone who went to these websites but also downloaded these apps. So this is the same for YouTube, but it's for any ad platform. The more specific you get with your data, the more expensive it's going to cost to have it. Google's saying, hey, you want to just broadly target? It's only this much. You want to target this person in this age and this area, this specifically? Yeah, that's going to cost a little bit more. And that's okay because not all leads are created equal. Yeah, so what if you can get $1 cost per lead on a bunch of people that aren't likely to buy, but you pay $50 a lead for the high quality person? That's totally fine. You can be specific and you can really pay for quality and high quality intent. That's combination targeting. The last main targeting bucket on YouTube is first party targeting. So that's your email list, your YouTube channel, your videos, your customer list, you being able to get back in front of those people. That is retargeting. Whereas the other 5 that we talked about before were prospecting. And if you know me and my method very well, I really like being able to have a different message for each of those different types of people because they have different types of intent. There's people who are aware of you versus not aware of you, and I like to treat those people very differently. Just like we would treat a first date and a 27th date very differently. I just wanted to take one quick second and remind you that you are invited to the Win with Paid Ads Challenge. So it's 5 days and you learn the 5 most important things for you to be able to actually win with your ads in your business. Day 1, messaging what you say. Day 2, setting where you say it. Day 3, targeting who you're getting your ads in front of. Day 4, testing how you improve your ads. And day 5, scaling and profiting, which is ultimately what you really want, right? So click the link below this video for you to join the Win with Paid Ads Challenge and make sure you get your platinum ticket because I'll be able to look at your business and give you personalized feedback. Click the link below. Let's get back to the video. So a few other things about YouTube, which are really cool, is the type of ad. So you might be wondering, well, how long should my ad be? What type of ad? Well, there are 2 different types of ads on Google. There is skippable and non-skippable. And there's a few different details about each, but here's the whole point. And I joke about this all the time, but I freaking love when people skip my videos on YouTube because I'm like, if you hate me and my voice, you will definitely hate my very comprehensive advertising training program, right? You won't like it. So I love when people skip. And so you love when people skip too because you're not paying for those people when you set it up this particular way. People come at me and they're like, no, you do pay for even when they're like click and skip. Yes, when you set your campaign up a certain way. There are different types of ways that you can set up your campaign for skippable versus non-skippable. And it all comes down to how you pay for your ad. So you can pay CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions, which means if the ad was served, like even for a half second, that's an impression. Whereas a view is considered if someone watches all of your video, if it's 30 seconds or less. Or if your video is longer, say it's a 2-minute ad. If someone views at least 30 seconds of your ad or clicks on the call to action button to go to your website, that's when a view is counted. So think about it. If I run a 30-second ad, which I'm about to film today at the end of our day after we have lunch, I'm going to film a few skippable and non-skippable ads for YouTube. When I do that, I know that some of them I will only pay if someone watches all 30 seconds or gets 8 seconds in, they're sold and they click. I'm great with that. I love, love, love not paying when people skip. It's kind of like free advertising. Like imagine if you have a 30-second ad, someone watches 27 seconds of it, click skip. You just got 27 seconds of free branding. Why would you not do that? I don't know. That's why you should run YouTube ads when you know how to do it the right way. So that's the cool thing about YouTube is they're skippable or non-skippable. And the thing that I've found is the difference between skippable versus non-skippable is with non-skippable, because you are forcing them to watch it, what you find is actually that your click-through rate is a little bit higher because they watched all of it and they're like, ooh, I'm interested. And they click the call to action button. So that's the difference I find is when you actually force the click or force the view, then yes, it's a little bit more expensive and the intent is a little bit higher because someone actually got to hear your full message and click on the website, which is nice. We talked about CPV versus CPM. And this is why I love YouTube ads so much is CPVs can typically be less than 10 cents. So the question is, are you willing to pay less than 10 pennies for someone to see your ad and actually not skip it, like actually want to watch it? And then you get to retarget that person because they viewed that video. There's just so much opportunity with YouTube. It's insane. So one of my clients, I want to tell you a story about her. She's a veterinarian and she had been running Google ads, Facebook ads, and then she added YouTube ads because our training teaches so many different ad platforms. And so she was doing YouTube and I saw that she had her YouTube ad and it was just a cell phone video. It wasn't even filmed wide. It was like just a cell phone video. And she was like, it's Dr. Bamonte again. Don't forget to book your pet nutrition consult, so they can be healthy and happy. And she got leads from that. In fact, her cost per lead on YouTube that I saw in the last week was $15 a lead. Could you imagine? And that was retargeting. So they were familiar with her. But could you imagine if you knew how to take a 10-second video, get it on YouTube real quick to the right person, the right audience, the right way to be able to be found just like that? That would be so awesome. It's so possible when you know how to do it the right way. So in fact, when I say do it the right way, I really want you to think about golf for just a minute. So you can watch YouTube videos about golf all day and be terrible at golf because there is a difference between watching versus doing. And so you don't beat a scratch golfer without a coach. And it's the same thing with advertising. You might hit the ball, you might even hit it far, but without form correction and course strategy or shot selection, like having that guidance, you might be able to have a great hit and you won't be able to replicate it. You'll be like, I got a good result. And it goes back to this reminder that my friend and sales coach said to me. She said, just because you've sold doesn't mean you can sell. Just because you launched an ad and it did okay doesn't mean you know exactly why it worked, how it worked, or how to replicate it over time. And so that's where I like to take you out of indecision mode and into precision mode. You don't have time to waste and wonder, am I doing this the right way? You need to know how to click the right buttons the right way so that you can do it at the quickest possible time and just have such confidence that it's done the right way. And that's what we can teach you. And it honestly all starts with the Win with Paid Ads Challenge. So I would love to get to see you in the challenge where we're going to talk about the messaging you could use in YouTube, all the different places you could run your ads besides just YouTube, testing, how can you improve your video? Like what would you do to actually set up a test in YouTube? Like what would you actually test so that you can improve the results? And then how do you scale? How do you profit? That is what we are talking all about in the Win with Paid Ads Challenge. So get your ticket below. I can't wait to see you. So I hope that was helpful today as we talked all about YouTube ads. And on the next episode, I'm going to talk all about how to advertise your property directly. So if you have an Airbnb or a VRBO or a property you're about to buy and you're wondering, do you want to pay all those fees or could you actually get bookings and sell out and maximize your business with paid advertising? And yes, you can. I'm going to tell you all about that on the next episode. So go advertise your name, make it rain, and I'll see you soon.